big capsule on the market provides you about 300. They might have 1,500 milligrams of fish oil, but barely 300 or 400 milligrams of omega-3s. And theirs don't compare to the form of mine. Ours are so environmentally made as well. You will not find an omega-3 product like mine anywhere in the world. So at midnight, we'll talk about it. Also, the best pricing we've ever had on it as well.
Okay, this is going to be a quick one because we don't have a lot of this, but This is the Cranberry Benefits. If you are not taking this yet, and you are interested in having a healthy urinary tract, you really need to take this.
Do you realize
this is life-changing product for those of us who take this?
Almost 99% of the reviews are positive reviews.
Wow, you're right.
Over 90% are 5-star reviews. Then if you add 4 and 3-star, good, very good, and perfect, if you add those all together, they're 99%. So over 90% are 5-star reviews. It's a 4.8-star product. It's a product that if we all possess a urinary tract, we all possess bladder, hopefully we have both our kidneys, and they are very, very important to our good health. And there's something very simple you can do to support the health of your urinary tract. And this was something that when I was a kid, you'd hear people talk about, oh, you should drink cranberry juice. It's healthy for your bladder, your kidneys, whatever it might be. As it turns out, the science is now quite clear and quite compelling, that it's not just something fluffy where people were saying that. It was actually very clear. And what's wonderful about this product, you get the finest extract of cranberry, but you get it without all the sugar and calories that you'll find in typical cranberry juice. And literally a small glass of cranberry juice can be a couple of hundred calories, and it's all sugar. So as healthy as cranberries are, cranberry juice is something, and I've never been a large fan of juice of any kind. I say, eat the fruit, eat the vegetable, don't drink the juice from that, or stick it in a blender with some water and make a juice of your own. But when it comes to cranberry, and the reviews on this, I'll read some of them, the reviews on this are absolutely compelling. To think that any product of any kind, I often compare it to, say, a great book or a great movie or a great restaurant. You never see products, or you never see any of those with 99% positive reviews.
Ever.
If they're lucky, 70 or 80%.
Yeah, because these are notice the difference, measure the difference products. So you're going to get this home, you're going to take it, and then you're going to notice a difference in the health of your urinary tract, which sounds kind of amazing, but it really works. There's a lot of us, we swear by this. We will not be without this product. It's incredible. I hope you will try it. It is the world's finest. You cannot buy better vitamin supplements anywhere in the world. It's the greatest thing about buying Andrew Lessman's products. They are the very best. And so why not? At least try it for yourself. It's so affordable. That's what I like about this. I have to show you real quickly. It's a 60, a 120, a 240 cap supply, and you can see it's so affordable. I mean, look at, for what you get, 240 capsules is only $39.90, and it's, I'll tell you what, it is absolutely life-changing. You have to go read those reviews. As Andrew said, all but 4 reviews are positive reviews.
Yeah,
out of hundreds and hundreds, only 4 people did not, you know, you don't know what happened with that. But the point is, you really need to at least take a minute, read some of the reviews, and try this for yourself. This is something, my husband takes this too. Guys take this as much as women take it.
Take this every day. Every single day.
Yep.
And it's a product, it's a very simple product. It's not going to upset your stomach. It comes in a small, I'll show you, it comes in a small capsule, as we see right there. Small capsule. I'll open the capsule here, ultra-fine powder, and of course it's the color of cranberry. And that's it. It's pure, 100% pure cranberry extract. That's what you're looking at. And it's extracted and concentrating the fruit acids that are important, that help cranberry play the special role that it plays in terms of the health of your urinary tract, bladder, kidneys. But I'll read some reviews here. We'll start with this one. I was getting one urinary tract infection after another, and it was at my wit's end. I now take at least 3 of Andrew's Cranberry Benefits capsules a day. Really, 1 or 2 is plenty.
Yep.
And I'm very happy with the results. Please, please offer a larger size. With some of our botanical products, we don't offer a very large size because we want to make sure it's always fresh for you.
Oh.
This has been requested as a Today Special. I'm not sure if we'll get to it this year, but we'll try.
That'd be great.
But it won't be happening until the very end of the year if we do that.
Yeah.
Very happy with results. I was given a cranberry supplement by my urologist because of frequent urinary tract infections that I was suffering with. Unfortunately, the pills he gave me were not gluten-free, and I had to stop taking them due to side effects. By the way, all my products are gluten-free. All of them are gluten-free.
Great.
I immediately checked to see if Andrew Lessman had a cranberry supplement and was thrilled when I saw these capsules. I knew I could take them confidently. So far, so good, and no side effects. I'm very pleased with my purchase and have already purchased another bottle in a larger size. Wonderful maintenance. For someone who has dealt with urinary tract infections, this product is wonderful for maintenance. No more awful tasting cranberry juice filled with sugar. I take Cranberry Benefits daily and would not be without it.
That's it. And you can see already over 1,000 gone in the first couple of moments here. So if you would like to order it, I would encourage you to try it. It's something that you can definitely take advantage of for yourself. But maybe you have daughters, maybe you have a spouse. If there's anyone in the family that deals with urinary tract infections, we're not saying that this is a cure for anything, but doesn't it make sense? If you keep your urinary tract healthy, it's going to make a world of difference, and it really does. It's a lovely product to take. It's a very soothing product to take. I adore this. I've been taking it for years and years and years. It's part of my daily vitamin regimen. I will not be without it. And I think a lot of you are nodding with me at home. You feel exactly the same way. If you're new to Andrew Lessman and his wonderful products, this is the perfect time for you to learn about it. Invest a little time. See why Andrew is one of the most respected health authorities in the country. See why Andrew is HSN's #1 top-selling line of products. Our customers who have discovered Andrew and his products love them. We love the education he brings to us, but most importantly, he delivers the kind of quality that you unfortunately just do not find out there. I mean, there's nobody else that puts the time into the research that Andrew puts into research, and not to mention just the way these products are made. Everything is made here in the USA. Everything is made with solar energy. I mean, there's not a better way to make a vitamin. I mean, everything about what you do, it's so just, it really is impressive.
And we could select, and we've been through all sorts of different sources of cranberry. And the cranberry source that we use is the one that has been revealed to us through your experience as being the very best. When you see a product that has as many reviews as this product has, and almost 99% of them are positive reviews. Not 80%, which would be phenomenal, not 90%, but almost 99% are positive reviews.
True.
It says something about a product. It says something far beyond that I could ever say about that product. And I was just going to read a few more reviews here. And mind you, this is not a medicine. It's not a medical product. It's not designed to cure or treat UTIs or kidney infections or bladder infections. What it's designed to do, it's designed to support your body as your body goes about maintaining a healthy balance of the healthy flora, maintaining an environment that is less susceptible, say, to the implantation of bacteria or pathogens. But it's all about giving your body the tools to take care of itself. It's not a drug. It's not a medicine. In my mind, it's something far better than a drug or medicine because it returns the tools to your immune system and your body to do the very best it can for you. And this is something that is now supported by the science, very, very strong science, but it was supported by hundreds of years, if not maybe more than 1,000 years of traditional experience beforehand. But we'll read a couple of reviews before we run along.
Okay.
Working, working great. My mom told me about this product as I am very prone to UTIs. I started to take these in November of last year, and so far they have worked great. I've not had any problems with recurrent UTI since I started taking this product. My mother has been using Andrew Lessman's vitamins for years now, and she has me sold. I have since purchased his Essential 1 and liver antioxidants as well. Thank you for a great product that is working. We'll talk about Essential 1 later.
How cool is that? That's what's happening, you know. We moms, our children, as they're getting a little older, and they care about their health, and they've watched us take Andrew's products for years, and now they are realizing they want to feel good and look good.
After being, I started my company 36 years ago.
Jeez.
Ouch, it hurts to say that. 36 years ago, but we've gone through several generations of people. And
seriously.
So it's something that we're proud of, but if we care about our health, Mother Nature provides us with all sorts of tools. Certainly, the pharmaceutical industry does wonderful things when we need them. I'm not sure if we need to be spending $1 trillion a year on drugs each year in this country, which, as big as the vitamin industry is, it's a small, tiny, single-digit % of the pharmaceutical industry. Actually, it's a very tiny industry, sadly, the wellness industry, compared to the drug industry. But this is an opportunity to get something natural that supports a part of our body that generally will speak to us from time to time when things aren't going well. But let's read a few more reviews, and then we'll run along.
Okay.
Thank you. I am a physician who combines alternative methods with conventional medicine.
Great.
I have confidence in Andrew's products and use them myself. I was very glad to see this product in Andrew's arsenal, as cranberry has been shown to reduce urinary tract infections and improve kidney functions. There's some clinical studies and research. Again, it's not a drug or medicine. My mother is 89 and has experienced an improvement in her urinary tract health after taking cranberry. I also take this every day. Thank you, Andrew.
And that's from a physician. How nice.
Here's another one. This is interesting. I remember this one. Keeping my dogs healthy. Both of my boxers have had issues with urinary crystals. This condition ranges from annoying accidents to potentially serious surgery if the crystals develop into stones. My very progressive vet suggested that I include a cranberry supplement in their diets, which occasionally I give a capsule of cranberry in Lincoln's food. My first thought was to turn to Andrew's products because they're 100% added free, by the way.
Right.
I've been including one capsule in their food daily for a few months now. And both have benefited from it. Both dogs are free of crystals and have healthy urinary systems now. Thank you, Andrew, for keeping me and my pets in good health. That's from Sandra. And of course, check with your veterinarian. But cranberry is something that I'll sprinkle usually about half a capsule into Lincoln's food and do that once or twice a week. I kind of go through my supplements with Lincoln, and that's something I'll talk about in a blog post or a blog video that I'll do. But again, a natural way to support the urinary tract, bladder, kidneys, something that comes with a 100% money-back guarantee, so you experience the benefits of the product or you get to send it back.
Alrighty, we're going to wrap this up. Do not hang up. We have thousands gone. The majority of these spoken for with everyone on the phone ordering and everyone on hsn.com placing those orders, so we appreciate those calls. Hey, by the way, we are 45 minutes away from a new day and a brand new Today Special, and this time tonight we are bringing back Andrew's Omega-3. The Essential Omega-3 is one of the most popular. It's the finest fish oil product available on the market today. When you start comparing the differences, you will see why we all love it. We wait. He only does this once a year. One time a year we get to do the Omega-3 at the price you're going to see.